Coming up on the next episode. Good Monday afternoon to you all, YouTube. It's 12:18 in the p.m. I'm here at the new bench again. This is going to be more of a flapping type video. I have to make some decisions before I can continue working on this, because there are certain things that need to be done before this can be slid back into the wall like I want to do. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem sliding it back into the wall. That shouldn't be a big deal. The way this is set up, once you put that center leg on something that will slide, you can pick up one end or the other and pivot on the other end and push it wherever you want it to go, pretty much. And that's what I will end up doing. And I think I can use my chair as the sawhorse I was talking about, and that will work out there. Now the problem I'm having is, you can see there's a space back there where the drill's sitting, that there is no wood in there, and I can put a piece of wood in there. I have a piece of wood that will go there, but to me there is no sense there's no sense, absolutely positively no sense, in me trying to put something back there, because I'll never ever be back there. I'm sitting with my chest up against the edge of the front of the bench right now, and I'm gonna reach as far as I can reach. That's it. That's just me reaching. That's not me trying to turn anything or anything else. If there was anything out of this area, I couldn't even touch it. This is one thing I cannot reach, and the MFP is not going to be able to, the dial for the variac on the MFP, the DC part of it, I won't be able to reach. And so that is going to limit my use of the MFP a lot. Now on this side, if we look over here, you can see I can reach all the way, and I'm not even over to the, I've got this thing here in my way. If I get in, I got plenty of room here. It's just, I can get to that, no problem. But I cannot get to that. That's as far as I can get, and I can't get any further. Now, what all this is leading to is the fact that all my stuff is going to have to be, this is a big bench, but there's going to be some wasted space on it, I'm sorry to say, because I cannot reach it all. Like I said, this is going to be about the limit here with me reaching for something, and I'm thinking very seriously now of getting the MFP and building a base for it with a 3D printer, so it will be freestanding, and perhaps put that underneath the shelf. There's going to be a shelf here for the TV to sit. And again, I think that part right from there over here is going to be pretty much unusable. Now, that's not to say I can't put things up on the pegboard. I can. I can put them up there, but I'm going to have to stand up and to get them down. In other words, they can be out of the way up there. In other words, they can, be hanging there, and for something I don't use very often, that might not be a bad idea. But otherwise, even the things here, I'm going to have some problem getting to those. So all of this, I keep reaching over here. You're not seeing where I'm reaching, but even up here, like, that's about the limit right there of my reach. So unless I stand up, and that's kind of defeats the purpose of of having this bench set up for me anyway. So that's that. I think what I'm going to do is really seriously consider all the possibilities here. But again, I think back to this space here, I think my shelf is going to run from here to here. The TV will sit in here, and that will take care of that problem. I can reach everything around in here. That's not a problem. And of course, the same way on the other side. over there. I can reach those. But again, I needed to decide this before I go and slide this back against the wall, because once it's back there, it's going to be very difficult for me to get behind anything and make any changes. So I want to get anything that's going to be changed now while I've got I can get to the back of it. So I'm thinking putting a shelf, or not a shelf, but a backboard from this backboard to that backboard over here. Yeah, we're here. And that will be my backboard for the bench itself, and anything back behind there will just be unusable as far as I'm concerned. Again, the TV will be sitting there on a shelf, and it'd be difficult to reach behind it anyway. So that's my thoughts on that. So I hate to waste all that space, but really there's, that space, as you saw, that shelf that was on there, that's what it was meant for. It was meant to bring that shelf out. That was really never meant to be usable space in the design of this desk originally, because it's just too far back. You can't reach it. And so, like I said, I'm going to use that just like it is, probably, and I will, that'll be where the TV sits. And again, now as far as up above, I don't know yet. We'll have to see. But now on the lights, let me go to the lights here a second. You guys remember the lights all attached to the board up here, and they stick out. And then this one over here will do the same. It will be attached to that top shelf, and it will stick out. Now, the wiring for that is, I'm trying to think, is the wiring going to be needed to be run first before I move this back, or can I do it after? So that's what I'm working on too. And all this stuff has to be thought out before I get to it. Just like these tiles I was talking about. Bill had mentioned they didn't think they would make a good surface, but they do. They make an excellent surface for electronics work, because this is just as slick as not. You can see it's real hard, and it's real slick. You can't put anything on there and have it expect to sit there. It's just going to slide all over the place. So that the tile makes it nice and gives it a nice cushiony surface, and there's no slide to it, and it makes it so much better. So that's that. I think, like I said, I want to get that tile on this side, at least on this side, and get that put in. And once I get that put in, I'm going to take some not L brackets, but L brackets, little L-shaped brackets, and then secure that to the bench to where it's stable and won't go anywhere. So that's what I plan to do. Now also, there's only the same amount of bolts, screws in the back of this backboard that I had originally put on the other side, so I've got to put some more of them into the bench top, and that needs to be done. So that's got to be done, and like I said, this board, if I need to put this board in first, that needs to be done. So once those two items are done, then I can probably move on to the next thing. And I think I'm really seriously thinking about taking that board from this corner to maybe the corner of the where the Variac panel will be at, and like I say, cut out all that right there. Again, I will be able to get to it, but at the same time, I may even change my bench amp around a little bit and put that in the center. If I put it in the center under the shelf, like for the TV or something like that, it will be easy to get to, and my connections for the amp and the speakers and the things like that, all that could be put in the same place and routed around behind there. And again, that wouldn't have to be moved out to do that, because I can, I can get behind there and do that with those pretty easy with the speakers. And I've also thought about putting the speakers instead of both on this side up there. I've thought about putting one there and then one there. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. I've a lot to think about, and like I say, I want to think about it and get the best possible setup here for this to work, because I really don't want have to make a big mistake of some kind and then have to go back and try to change that without moving this out again, and that's what my deal is. Now on this place over here where it's all cut out, I think I got enough wood to cover that and just fill that hole in, and that will be all I need to do there. Really don't even need to do it because it's going to be behind everything. So, but again, probably will do it anyway. So, but as far as that shelf is concerned, that board, if I put a board in here like this, like I want to do, I may have to go ahead and make the MFP into that. I don't know. We'll see. I was thinking about making it freestanding, but at the same time, I don't know that that'll work out. If I make it freestanding, I may put it over here on this side. So, you know, I'm pretty much committed to the fact that this is going to be my low voltage transistorized stuff side, or on this side, and then the other side will be for tube radios. Obviously, higher voltage things. I've got the Variac over here and all that stuff. So, AC related. How's that? And this will be DC related. How's that? That's a pretty good way of thinking about it, I think. But anywho, that's that. Like I said, this is where I'm at today, just thinking about it. I come up with this last night in bed. I thought, you know, there's a lot of this bench space that cannot be used, and sad to say, but because it's a nice huge bench, but if you can't use it, I mean, I'm sorry, you can't use it. I can barely get to the saw if I had to move it. I'm pressed up against the front of the bench, and like I said, it's too far back there. I can't reach it. So that's the best plan, I think, is to cut that off and put it in a reachable. In other words, let me think of it this way: this bench here back to the backboard is a certain amount right there. Okay, I don't even know what it is. I don't have a tape measure. Oh, now I do. Let me see here real quick. Just see what it is. All right, it's 23 inches. All right, there's 23 inches. Now, if we go 23 inches here, you can see right where that's at. Well, you could if I turn the camera around. But right there is where that is at 23 inches. So that's going to work out perfectly, just exactly what I wanted to do. Because it'll go to that front leg of that shelf, and it'll go over there to the other silent pegboard. And I think that will work out great. So that's going to do just exactly what, and that way it gives me a full reach around the bench. Anywhere I'm sitting at the bench, I can reach behind, you know, against the back wall of it. And that's what I want. So that's what I'm going to try to come up with. So this is going to be actually a little bit difficult to put in until I get this mounted, because I really don't know how I'm going to do it, because you can see there's quite a bit of give there to it as far as where it's going to end up. There's going to be about that much space in it. I'd say that's about where it's going to end up right there, because there's for allowing for the tile. But again, looking at the level too, it's about right where it's supposed to be at. So like I said, it's kind of hard to come up with that exactly. Or I guess what I could do is attach it on this side, you know, make it the correct side, attach it over here, and get behind it if I need to get to that. And this one here, I could probably attach from the front. In fact, it'd probably be better from the front. And maybe come out with the facing of the board here, and that way I could drill into that if I needed to. And I wouldn't really have to attach it until I could, you know, till later on, and you know, when I get the I keep showing the wrong thing. But anyway, I could, you know, later on I could attach it to this after I get this drawn down like I want it, and that way would, you know, it would be there. At least I'd have that side in, again, that side in, and I wouldn't have to worry about that. So I don't know. There's a lot to think about. A whole lot to think about. So that's what I'm busy doing today, and I say busy, I'm not really doing anything. But, you know, to me it's busy because I use my mind a lot. And also this, anybody that was considering getting this drill now, I liked this drill when I first got it, but the battery does not last in it, and it's not very good. It's an old style NiCad, and it's just not a good drill. I'm going to buy the newer one with the lithium battery, 20 volt, and this is an 18. Now the drill itself works fine, but battery just doesn't hold up on it. And I used it maybe a half a dozen times, you know, in a regular succession, as far as you know, use the drill till it runs down or whatever, and then power it up or charge it up, and then now I can sit there and charge it. Well, it'll just sit there and charge forever, and the light won't go out. It doesn't come out, you know, green at all. It just stays on red, like it's charging all the time. So, and then, like I said, when I charged it the last time, I used it all that first day. Well, that's when I say all that first day, I drilled about probably a dozen holes with it, and then left it sit overnight. Now the battery's dead. So it's just, the battery doesn't hold up in it. So, hey, word to the wise on that one. It was good when I first started, but not so good these days. So I think there's a 2-year warranty on it. I probably could take it back, but I don't know. I don't even remember when I bought it, to tell you the truth. But that's that. That's another story for another time. You know, I just figure on this stuff here, I think it needs to be decided before I go about major moves, as far as getting this back sitting where it's supposed to sit. And anybody that's, again, let me show you this. Let me back up a little bit. There is a center leg there. You can see it underneath there. That is the only leg on this bench. The ends here just sit on top of these end units. That's all it does, and that's all it ever did. There's a wood cutout underneath here. There's a lip where those fit into, and they fit in there really tight if they're put in there the way they're supposed to be. In other words, the way they were designed to fit. But I don't want them that way. I'm going to put them on the ends, like I've told you I'm just going to do. And once I get that in there, I can take my time and get those lined up and get that register all lined out and get all this stuff done at one time. But like I said, I've got to have one more prop, which is probably going to be that chair there, to hold up the end until I can get that moved around, because that's the one that's got to come over here on this side, and then move this one over to that side. And then once I do that, then I can proceed. But until that's done, can't really do anything. So anywho, that's that. Also, I've decided my living room has 2 sets of drapes on the window in there, and really they're not needed to, because I'll never ever close those. I never do close those, I guess I should say. And they have a blind anyway. So this one doesn't have a blind or a curtain. So I think I'm going to take one pair of those ones from the living room and put them in here, and cut down a little bit on that glare of the sun coming in there. And it's not really the sun right now, just the daylight, but cut down a little bit on that, and that should help in here. And that way, once I get my lights in here, you'll be able to see a lot better, I think, than you can now. But yeah, the lights for this are going to go, again, probably on the end pieces. I'll come up on each end with a board there and put that light that I had in the other room in there, and that will be this end's light for this. And of course the 3 can lights, which are right here on the floor with their brackets, will go back up there where they were at. And once they're up there, that should provide enough light over there. Then I've got my little swing arm light that I bought. That's going to go in here, probably on this side over here, because I'll probably do most of my work over here, because everything's going to be here. The soldering station is going to be on the end where it used to be, and all this stuff will be pretty much in the same location. So most of my work will get done here. Now again, the transistor stuff probably over here, low voltage, DC, whatever you want to call it. And the 970 will be on this side over here, probably. Well, no, not probably, it will be. So all that stuff, and that's got to be worked on too. I've got to put that circuit breaker in it. So, like I said, there's a lot to do. Just taking my time. Anybody that's worried about me, don't have to worry. I do not hit it too hard. Like I said, I found the pieces that I need for that, to slide that in. I don't know if it's wide enough, but I've got a piece in there. And like I said, I'll put it underneath that leg, and then we'll slide a little bit, see how it slides. I think it'll slide a lot better. So, all right, that's going to end me for this. I've talked, geez, I'm getting like Bill. I've flapped for 20 minutes here already. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we will see ya.